Good afternoon, Moore-Tree. It's Matt Wright, Superintendent of Moore-Tree School District, bringing you this week's Monday update. I am sorry that we are running so late, but we have been experiencing some significant technical issues. Our entire network has been down. Monday night, I tried to upload this message and couldn't get it to go through and couldn't figure out why. Came in Tuesday morning, tried to work on some emails, and when my emails didn't work, I realized there was a much larger issue than just uploading a video. And it's at that point I realized that the internet wasn't working. We spent most of yesterday troubleshooting, was able to get the problem solved this morning, and so I wanted to get this up to you as quickly as I possibly could. Doing it in a little bit of a different format, as you can tell. I'm using an app called Loom. This is something that our teachers are going to be using in the upcoming school year, and so I wanted to familiarize, I know some of you have kids, so I wanted to familiarize some of you with the technology that you'll be seeing next school year if we have a temporary closure, whether it's for snow, COVID, or whatever it may be. Now, for those of you who saw this last year, you know that in the bottom left-hand corner, you typically see your teacher's face. However, I have a face for radio. I chose not to show my face, and so just wanted to expose you, let you see how this works, so that when we start using this app next year, you'll know exactly what your children are on. Two things we want to talk about. One of them is pretty quick, and that is about the school calendar. As you know, we were scheduled to begin school on August the 13th. Under the governor's direction, we're postponing the beginning of school until August the 24th. That is the earliest that we can begin. Now, adjustments need to be made to the calendar, but there is a process that we have to go through anytime that we adjust the school calendar. Yesterday, I met with our Personnel Policy Committee President, Ms. Rebecca Roughton. We worked on the calendar together. She took it back to members of the PPC today. They have sent me a draft. I will share that with our school board at our regularly scheduled school board meeting on Monday night. And then next Tuesday morning, we hope to have you an updated calendar. That'll be on our webpage as well as our Facebook page. And so be looking for that. So now as I start to get into the specifics of graduation, there's just a couple things that I want you to remember. Number one, everything that we're doing is in the name of safety. We're trying to keep our kids safe. We're trying to keep those in attendance safe. And we're trying to keep our community safe. And so the things that we have put in place, they are strictly in the name of safety. We're trying to have as close to a traditional graduation ceremony as we possibly can, but there were a lot of requirements that were set forth by the Department of Health and by the Department of Education. However, we felt that it's important enough to have this event. We want our kids to have some closure on their school year. We feel that they deserve that. Not just their school year, but their entire educational career at MTHS. And so in order for us to do that, just keep in mind, there's going to be rules and there's going to be requirements, and we're going to ask that you follow those. Now, let's talk about parking. But before I get to that, let me tell you, when we get in line at the venue, when we get in line, it will start at the ticket booth. Let me turn my marker on. It will start at the ticket booth, and we'll run along the side of the gym, and we'll turn and go through the bus loop if needed, okay? So in order to keep those people in line safe, if you park on the gravel road, we're going to ask that you park alongside the baseball field or the old practice field. That's where our Pee Wee football team currently practices. So do not park on the side of the gravel road by the football field or by the gym. We want to keep those people who are in line as safe as we possibly can. Now, there's going to be plenty of other places that you can park. Our city has graciously agreed to allow you to park around the venue on the road. However, they are asking that you park on the inside, or the inside being closest to the school or closest to the football field. They don't want us blocking traffic, so we can't park on both sides of the road, but I think we'll have plenty of space to accommodate everybody. You can park on the inside of the road along 6th Street. You can park on the inside of the road on Liberty Street. You can park on the inside of the road on 9th Street up to the gravel road. And then you've got Normandy Street, which is back behind the elementary school, where you can park up to the gravel road. The spots on Normandy behind the football field and on 9th Street that runs parallel to the football field, we're going to ask that you not park there, and here's why. There are going to be some people who are concerned about safety, and they don't want to come inside the facility. And so we want to save those spots for family members or friends who want to see the graduation ceremony, but they want to do it from the safety of their own car. And so if you plan on coming into the venue, please do not park along the football field on 9th Street and Normandy. So now let's talk about what it's going to look like when we enter the facility and seating. But before I do that, I want to just kind of give you a layout of what the ceremony will look like. The administration and the school board, we're going to be seated right in through here, which is probably about the 40-yard line. That's where students will receive their diplomas, and the school board and the administration, we're going to be facing Normandy Street. And so the students are going to have 5 or 6 rows that they'll be seated in, and they're going to be facing the railroad track, okay, or the gravel road. They will walk up to where the administration school board is sitting. They will have their diplomas with them when they arrive. They'll see them in their seats. They'll come up and they'll take a picture with the school board. And then they will return to their seats. I want to tell you that so that you understand how the ceremony is going to take place. Now, we're going to have seating in the visitors' bleachers, in the home bleachers, and in designated spots around the football field, and then several rows back through here, okay? Now, I'm going to say something, and it's going to raise some eyebrows, but hear me out because we have a plan. We want to make sure, we have to be at 66% capacity. And let me tell you what that looks like in the bleachers, which we believe the bleachers are going to be the best seat in the house. That's what we feel like. You'll have the best view of the ceremony from the bleachers. In the bleachers, we can only have people sitting every other row. And then we have to have spots marked off so that people have room for social distancing. Now, that's on the rows where everybody sits. It has to be marked ahead of time. And so how do you do that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to allow every graduate 6 tickets for the bleachers. Now, that's not all the room that you get, but 6 tickets for the bleachers. Those 6 tickets will get you into the visitors' bleachers or the home bleachers. And our graduates will be able to pick those up ahead of time. I'll cover that later. But when you show up, and once you enter the venue, you will have an usher that will tell you which side that your family will be on. Once you get to the bleachers, you'll have an usher direct you to your family's assigned seat. Now, I'm just going to apologize in advance. Some of you might not like your assigned seat. We understand that. But in order to have an organized ceremony, that was what we have to do, or had to do. And so when you enter, with one of your tickets, with one of your 6 tickets, we will direct you to your family's assigned seating area. Now, we're going to ask that be the 6 people that graduates pick. We're going to ask that you show up at the same time. We'll get into some more of those logistics in just a few minutes. Now, what about the seating through here? That is a terrible horseshoe. And then the other seating that we're going to have here. In addition to the 6 seats, we're going to have circles around the football field. And those circles are going to go all the way, just like I showed you. And then we'll have some more back through here, okay? Each senior will also have their own circle. Their circles will be designated by having their initials in them. We'll have ushers that will direct your other family members or close friends to the circle, but each circle is going to be 12 foot. It's going to have a 12-foot radius. It's 12 foot in diameter, 6 foot radius, 12 foot in diameter. So it's going to be 12 feet wide. Those people who sit in those circles, we want our seniors to be able to tell people who they want to be inside those circles. And you can try to fit as many people inside those circles that's your immediate family or your close friends that you want. But just remember, everybody has to be in a mask. And in order for them to have a seat, you're going to have to bring a lawn chair inside of those circles. Once again, we'll have ushers that will direct you to those areas. Why are we having the different areas? We have to have social distancing. The rules and regulations that was set forth by the state. How do you have that social distancing for family members and for close friends? This is just what we figured would be best, and that was some of the feedback that we received from the state. Now, in order to be allowed in, everybody has to have on a mask, no exceptions. The school will not provide masks unless you are a graduate. Graduates, you can pick up your tickets, your 6 tickets from school on Monday. And also, once you are in your seat, you are expected to remain in your seat. We will not have access to restrooms. So now we've talked about parking, we've talked about seating. Now let's talk about the schedule. At 4:45, graduates are expected to arrive. Now, you don't have to be in your cap and gown. We also understand it's going to be hot, so Ms. Thompson is going to share a dress code with you. But you are going to have to be in possession of your gown. We're not going to want you to come in and out of the venue. We'll seat the students in their assigned spot for graduation. Their diplomas will already be in their seat. And then for the next 45 minutes, we're going to receive instructions, have a little quick walkthrough of what exactly the ceremony will look like. Now, at 5:15, and not until 5:15, but at 5:15, ticket holders, you are allowed to start getting in line. That's just the 6 ticket holders that the students, or to the people that the students gave the 6 tickets to. And when you get in line, that line will run alongside of the gym and through the bus loop. Here's what the 6 tickets or the separate seating areas also allowed us to do. It's going to allow us to have fewer people in line at once. It's also going to allow us to not necessarily have this mad rush to be first to get in. You're going to be able to get in if you have those 6 tickets. You're going to be able to get in if that student asked you to sit inside the circle, but we're just going to let you in at separate times. And so at 5:15, ticket holders, you are allowed to get in line, and there shouldn't be a need to rush. Every senior's family is going to have that assigned seating area, and I just showed you where the line would be. And so the spots for you to socially distance will be marked on the ground. We will start letting you in at 5:30. Also at 5:30, other family members and friends will be allowed to begin getting in line. Those are the people who are going to be in the students' individually assigned circle. And we're just going to ask you again to please respect the students and their families. If they have not asked you to be in that assigned area, please let them have the few people that they want in that area. We do think that 12-foot circle will easily fit several people and still allow for a social distancing. But just remember, everyone has to keep their mask on. If you aren't in the bleacher area and you don't have one of the 6 tickets, remember, you must sit in the student's assigned area and you must have your own lawn chair. Now, at 6, the ceremony will begin. The ceremony is going to look different than it has in the past, and unfortunately, we must do everything that we can to minimize contact with the crowd and keep our students safe. And so as you notice the differences in the ceremony, if you notice the difference in the entrance procedures and in the seating procedures, just remember this: we wanted our plan to be good enough to receive state approval. If you think some things are overboard, just remember we just wanted to do what we had to do to be able to celebrate our seniors. Now the masks, staying in seats, social distancing, 66% capacity, the gaps in the bleachers between the rows where there's no seating, that was not a request. That was a requirement. That was something the state told us that we needed to be prepared to do. Now, the ceremony itself is going to have a target of 30 minutes. When the ceremony is over, everyone is not allowed to leave at the same time. We will start dismissing those that are closest to the gate first. So the people who are back here, or who are sitting in the terrible horseshoe that I'm drawing, those people in the circles, you're going to be dismissed first, and you will leave through the gate, the big gate that says Don Lovell Memorial Field. On the way out, we know there's going to be more people, so we want to have a bigger area for you to leave. Just to say it again, everyone will not leave at the same time. Each area will be dismissed by ushers. Upon the ceremony being over, those in attendance are expected to get in their cars and leave the venue. In the past, we like to go out there and hug and take pictures, and that's, it's unfortunate we can't do that. That was also an expectation of the state. Students will be dismissed last. We cannot dismiss students until the crowd is cleared out and until kids can safely get into their vehicles. And so once it's safe for kids to leave, the graduates will be allowed to get into their vehicles and leave. Now, I know there's probably a million questions, and so if you have those questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. It's wrightm@mtree.k12.ar.us. So I want to reiterate a couple things. I don't like graduation ceremonies that have a certain number of seats or assigned seating. I just, I wish the circumstances were different. I do. My heart still breaks for those seniors and for the things that they missed. But as I think about those restrictions and I think about the things that we're having to do to keep people safe, the inconveniences that we're having to experience, I have to keep asking myself the question of, would you rather have a ceremony with restrictions, or would you rather not have a ceremony? That's an easy question for me to answer. To me, it's about having the ceremony and trying to give those kids something to show our appreciation and our love for them. Several of those kids I've got really good relationships with and have for years. And the fact that after graduation is over, I can't go up and hug them. We can't take pictures together. That bothers me. That bothers me. But I think it would bother me more if we didn't do everything within our power to have a graduation ceremony, to have those kids receive their diploma, for us to call their name over the speaker, and for us to recognize them as alumni of Martin Tree High School, for them to be able to have the opportunity to sing that alma mater one more time as a student of our school district. To me, that was the most important thing. And so I hope you agree, and I hope you appreciate what we've been able to put together. And so that's all I have this week. As you go through this week, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing all of you next Thursday night. Seniors, make sure that you comment in the section, or in the comments. Make sure you leave us something so we know you've seen this, and don't forget you can pick up your tickets on Monday. Have a great week, folks.